Broadcasting from Studio 300 on Cal Poly's campus, you're watching Mustang News.
I'm Monica Roos. Mustang News starts now. Cal Poly is remembering Thomas Stone, a senior business administration student. Mustang News reporter Allison Royal tells us about how Cal Poly lost one of its own this weekend. Local, county, and federal agencies are investigating an anonymous threat on a blog in Santa Barbara. According to the Santa Barbara Sheriff's Department, the threat says someone may carry out a shooting in a classroom. The threat wasn't specific to any school, so all schools in Santa Barbara are on alert. The 5th annual Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk hosted by the American Cancer Society was held on Saturday, October 24th in Mission Plaza. 1,100 people attended the 3.1-mile walk through downtown San Luis Obispo to raise money and awareness for breast cancer. The Cal Poly racing team is currently working on a couple of their vehicles, preparing them for competition. The Cal Poly community is remembering Nick Brown, a construction management sophomore that died on Sunday morning from a seizure after paramedics were unable to restart his heart. A freshman got an unexpected side order with his chow pizza. Many students were skeptical about the campus dining after several students reported finding bugs in their salads from red radish in October. A Poly alert sent out last Wednesday informed the campus about a potential bomb threat. However, the Cal Poly email server detected the message as spam. The server redirected the message to the spam and clutter folder. The university police, who issued these alerts, were notified. With El Nino making its way to the Central Coast, power outages may be even more common. Amanda Fridley tells us what Cal Poly students need to know to be prepared. City police, sheriffs, and park rangers are making efforts to reach out to the homeless as El Nino rolls in. With cold weather and possible flooding, members of the homeless community are encouraged to seek shelter at any of the centers in the San Luis Obispo area. Students could be getting a little extra buzz with their drink orders from Starbucks if plans for a conditional use permit gets approved. The Starbucks in the Five Cities Center in Arroyo Grande could be serving wine and beer in the near future. Washington, D.C. was filled with life as President Obama gave his last State of the Union speech Tuesday night. The speech was optimistic, and Obama pledged to do all he can to unite a fractured country during his last few months in office. Thanks for watching this 30-minute edition of Mustang News. I'm Monica Roos.
And I'm Avra Baum.
Broadcasting from Studio 300, you're watching Poly Playbook.
Hello and welcome to a fresh new edition of Poly Playbook. We're serving up all the hot action, the cool plays, and everywhere in between for Cal Poly athletics. I'm Monica Roos. The Cal Poly women's basketball team will travel to Honolulu this weekend to finish the regular season versus Hawaii before the start of the Big West Conference tournament. The men's baseball team is preparing to play a 3-game series at home this weekend against rival University of San Francisco. With a brand new young team, players have to adjust to the new dynamic, and returners find themselves taking on leadership roles. Reporters Joseph Schutz and Tommy Tran met up with the baseball team Thursday to tell us how they feel about the preseason thus far. For the first time in 3 years, the men's golf team are champions. They triumphed over host Long Beach State by just one stroke in the Del Walker Classic. 4 Cal Poly golfers finished in the top 15, clinching the lowest total score of any team. Junior Cole Nygren tied for 5th place with an outstanding 1 under par and shattered his career best by 5 strokes. Former Cal Poly men's soccer midfielder Chase Minter made school history this past week. He became the program's highest Major League Soccer Super Draft selection, taking number 21 overall by Columbus Crew SC. Minter finished his career this fall, going down in the Cal Poly history books, number 1 in assists, 2nd in appearances, and 5th in points in the history of the school. The Cal Poly wrestling team is gearing up to host Duke in Mott Athletic Center, a team with 4 nationally ranked wrestlers. Mustang Wrestling has gotten off to a rough start this season, and this will be the first home game for Cal Poly since a 28-12 loss to Drexel on November 13th. But going into a non-conference match and its first ever dual meet against Duke, the team is looking to redeem itself. Cal Poly and Duke are both 1-4 in dual meets so far this season. The first match will begin at 7 p.m. on Sunday, January 17th. Wrestling coach Brendan Buckley says the preparations the team has been making this season should leave them in good shape for the upcoming meet. 5 different Mustangs scored on Saturday night as the Cal Poly football team broke their 3-game losing streak against Sacramento State with a 36-14 win. The Mustangs ran the Sac State Hornets into the ground with 366 rushing yards, while Sac State only had 35. The Cal Poly women's volleyball team is going on the road for a pair of matches after splitting a pair of home conference matches last weekend. The Mustangs are traveling to UC Riverside and Cal State Fullerton this weekend as Big West play resumes. Our first and second place team finish in the Big West cross country meet. Both the men and women's cross country teams are looking to qualify for nationals this weekend. This Friday, November 13th, the teams will be racing in Seattle for the West Regional cross country meet. Cal Poly women's basketball suffered a tough loss last night against Hawaii. Din Leopepe, a sophomore guard, had 6 points during that stretch, with junior forward Amanda Lovely and sophomore guard Gabby Grappallo each adding a 3-pointer as well. Mustang football coach Tim Walsh made an announcement Wednesday that Cal Poly has signed a total of 17 high school football players and 1 community college transfer for the 2016 season. The list of recruits includes 5 defensive backs, 4 linebackers, 3 defensive linemen, 2 offensive linemen, 1 wide receiver, 3 running backs, and 1 quarterback.
And that's all we have for Cal Poly action this week. You can log on to mustangnews.net for continuous Cal Poly sports coverage. I'm Allison Edmonds.
And I'm Monica Roos. Have a great weekend.